Welcome to the Life Jacket Podcast, where we talk about topics to help you get through the waves of life. I'm Bless,
I'm AJ.
and of course, before we get started, we're always going to start with the win of the week. So, what's good, AJ? What's your win of the week?
My win of the week was I was in my line brother's wedding as a groomsman, and I also had to give a speech. So I got some great feedback on my speech. People were like, "Yo, you did such a great job!" Like I just kind of went up there and memorized it. So
Yeah.
he only asked me to give a speech, so I was like, I got to hold G down
Oh,
and
yeah. That's
represent him. I can't fold. So that was a big win, huge win for the week for me. Wedding was great. Getting to see him and his wife be together forever. They're a really dope couple. So
that's what's up.
really shout out to them. So that was my win for the week. How about you?
So my win of the week, I finished that military school I was telling you
Mm-hmm.
about. That was like a month long. Um, there was so much that went on with that, whether we had presentations, written assignments, a test, a physical fitness test. It was long, felt like a waste of time, but I completed it, got it done, and that was like one of my goals that I had put on at the beginning of the year is to complete that course. And so it's crazy because that goes into our topic for today, goal setting. And it's pretty much the art of turning your dreams into reality. And there's goal setting is super important. So why do you think it is?
It's important because anything you're trying to do in life, you just have to set a goal. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna run a half marathon" and not set up goals along the way. Like, okay, like I'm gonna just get up and start running. No, you have to set goals. Like, okay, I'm gonna run 1 mile this week, then 3 miles this week, then 5 miles this week. It's not just saying that, oh, I'm just gonna just get up and do it, and not even just a marathon or running, but just anything in life. Whether you're studying for an exam, whether you're working on a project, whether you're trying to start your own business, you just have to set goals in order to see anything come into fruition. You can't just get up and be like, "Oh, I'm going to do it." Because if you just get up and say, "Oh, I'm just going to do something," you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And also, goals give you a really good opportunity to just see growth. Like, I think, well, not everybody, but if you don't, you should really have yearly goals and just write them down so you can go back 3 months from now and be like, "Oh, wait, I am slacking on this goal I started in December. It's already May. Let me go back and make sure, like, or let me just start working on this." And so it's
Hmm.
it's also like a good reference point as well. So like goals are like really essential to really just advancing and seeing your life be more fulfilling. It's just setting
Absolutely.
goals.
Yeah. It gives you purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you wake up in the morning, if you don't have a goal, like what are you going to do? Probably nothing
No.
because you have you have nothing to look forward to.
Mm-mm.
And so it gives you purpose and gives you like kind of back to our reason, it gives you your why
Mm-hmm.
and the way you can create your goals being, measurable, like you said, checking and recapping your goals. If you're supposed to be doing something January and it's May and you haven't, then what are you doing really? It keeps you accountable as well. And I think they're super important for your progression in life. You're not going to progress if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have goals. You're not going to progress if you don't know what you're working for and working towards something.
And I think my number one reason for continuing like to complete your goals in life is consistency. Consistency kills. You can't you cannot complete a goal or anything in life without being consistent. That's whether you're in the gym, that's whether you're working on your job, whether you're at work, you have to be consistent in order to see any goal you want in life come to fruition. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to work on my business 2 days a week." No, like if you're passionate and you want to start something, you have to work on your business literally every day. Like if you're trying to grow your social media account, you have to post consistently every single day. If you want to see growth in the gym, you have to start going to the gym literally every single day. Of course, take a day or two off, but like it's the consistency day after day, week after week, month after month. If you want to achieve any goal in life, you have to stay consistent. There's no other way around it. You have to be
Absolutely.
consistent.
And that's the main focus.
Mhm.
Besides anything else, it's the consistency aspect of it. And then I always like to refer to the 30 60 90
Mhm.
method, at least at work and stuff like that when I have my area coordinators. And even for myself, like, okay, my goal is this. And then I reverse engineer and see how can I do that. So on the 90th day, I've completed it. but what did I do on the 80th day? What did I do on the 70th? And so on and
Mhm.
so forth. And that's why I do 30, 60, 90. Because like month one, I want to accomplish this. Month two, I should have progressed from month one. Now I'm on month two to accomplish more and get closer to that goal. And then month three, it's accomplished. Depending on the type of goal, obviously, if you want to build a house, you might not be accomplishing that in 30 days.
Mhm.
But that's why you want to make sure that your goal is obtainable. And so it's super important and it's easy when you make it easy, when you make your goals small enough so that they're attainable. And so I believe everybody loves like that instant gratification,
Mhm.
and like mentally you can get that instant gratification by making your goals very, very small. Hey, I don't want to eat fast food for the rest of the year. Okay, well, start off with I don't want to eat fast food for week one, and then let that just continually progress. So then, hey, the end of the year comes and you haven't done it.
Exactly. And to go off your point, like you can't just be like, if you like to drink soda, I used to like to drink soda and I've kind of weaned off of it. There's no way you're going to say, oh, I'm just going to stop drinking soda tomorrow. You've
Bro.
got to wean yourself off. You can't be like, oh, I'm just going to drop dead cold turkey. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. You have to be like, okay, like next week, I'm going to drink soda 3 days a week
Hmm.
and start. That's a good goal for you. Say, I'm going to stop doing something 3 days a week. And then you, over time, you progressively keep going until you wean yourself off. And that's going to take time. And that's like your goal. Like, okay, I'm going to stop doing this for 3 days. See how you do, reevaluate, and then come back to it. You can't just be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna stop," and that's it. You'll fail. You're not gonna do it.
I've talked to so many people that are like that, and I try to explain that as well. Like it's in that impulsive thinking
Mm-hmm.
to be like, "Hey, I'm not gonna ever do this, or I'm not gonna do that again." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you are a person of habit,
Mm-hmm.
so they say it takes what 21 days to break a habit, 7 to complete it, and stuff like that. And so when you're just thinking in your head, I'm going to stop doing something without having that goal, without having that plan of action to do it, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like if you don't plan, then you're planning to fail. Like it's as simple as that.
And to even go off that, so what's a time where you've set a goal for yourself, and how'd you go about it? And like, what was the end result?
Oh yeah. So my goal was in regards to my military fitness test,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to row 5,000 meters in like 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've never rowed before. That's something I just never did. Wasn't something that I wanted to do, but it's something that I knew I had to do in order to pass this test. And so, like you were talking about earlier, in regards to running, I did the same exact concept. I was like, all right, well, 5,000 meters, that's a lot, right? That's a lot of time, under 25 minutes. So I started off going 1,000 meters, and I broke it down. Well, if I have to do 5,000 meters under 25 minutes, that's 5 minutes per 1,000 meters.
Mm-hmm.
And my way of looking at it was I don't want to be close to the point of where I would be fail or get kind of out of breath. So I was like, all right, well, every 1,000 meters, let me get 4 minutes. So that way I have a little buffer.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I started. Week one to like three, all I did was row 1,000 meters for 4 minutes. Did I get 4 minutes? No, I was like at 4:15. And then I would progress. Now I want to do 2,000 meters at like 8 minutes, 30 seconds. So on and so forth. So that way now my time roughly is like 21 minutes, but it's well under that 25-minute mark. And so that's kind of like that instant gratification of saying, hey, I'm achieving something, but I'm not achieving the full goal, but I'm achieving these small goals. And then being able to progress and like, hey, I know I can do it because I'm progressing and getting there. But just trying to get on that rower and go 5,000 meters probably wasn't going to happen. Wasn't happening for me. So what about yourself?
I would say, okay, so I'll give an example of when I didn't set a goal and I tried to do it and it didn't work out. So I told myself that I wanted to run a mile in 8 minutes. Mind you, I was probably running miles at 11 minutes. This was like last year. I would be so out of breath. I'd be so tired. So what I did was I said I was just gonna go out and just run every day, just to run. No goal, no nothing. And then by the end of the month, I was still running the same time, and I'm like, this isn't working. So then I actually reached out to somebody who was a runner. He's like, yeah, when you run, you have to run slow to run fast. And that was new for me because everything's usually fast. I was like, no, you have to literally start running slow to run fast. So he was like, start running your miles like at 11:15. He said after a month you'll probably start running like a lot faster, and then go back to it, bro. I started running miles. I was running about like probably like 11, 12 minutes. By the end of the month, I was probably running 10, 30 miles. And I just progressively started doing it each month. And now my miles are around like 8:30,
Yeah.
8:45. But like that just goes to show you, like, you have to have goals. You can't just get out there and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna go out and run, and then end all be all. And then on a more positive note, something where like I actually set a goal and I really thoroughly did it was, man, this is actually kind of tough. I would say buying a home, but well, it was buying a home. I set a goal. I said, okay, I want to buy a home by this point in my life. This was in 2022. So I said, I'm going to save up each amount of money this month. This is what a down payment's going to cost. I said, I'm going to get a realtor by this month. And it was just the planning of making sure like I was financially and everything was set up. I actually did background research. Okay, this is what it costs, closing costs, what might come up, inspection, etc. So I set up that goal 6 months in advance when I started my process. And by the time it came, I was able to, buy myself a home. But it wasn't until I really sat down and said, okay, I want to live in this area. I want to spend this amount. This is what I want in a home, not just walking in random homes and buying. It was just the process of making sure like I set myself up to buy that home. And so it goes back, like you said, the goals and like setting these goals like you want for yourself. And like I said, go back to consistency. I consistently made sure like, okay, like I did the research for, okay, I want to find these homes. I told my realtor, hey, like we would talk almost every day. Hey, like what's the market looking like? If something pops up, let me know. And it's just making sure like I was staying on top of him to ensure that I got the home that I wanted. And so like I got the home that I wanted at the price I want, even a little bit less.
Yeah.
So it's like just making sure you're prioritizing the goals that you set and making sure you stick to them is really, really important.
Yeah. And so, like, as you explain your method and I explain my method, our viewers are probably saying, oh, that sounds cool, but they're not probably understanding what we actually did. And so
Mhm.
we can relate to most people know, not everyone, but the SMART method,
Mhm.
right? So specific, measurable, attainable, time measured, stuff like that. And so I think that's what we did.
Mhm.
We were able to be specific on what we wanted to accomplish. And then we were able to measure it, measure our success, measure our progress, measure if we need to change anything. And then obviously we had to make it attainable. We can't
Mhm.
say, hey, I'm going to buy a mansion knowing that currently right now in a financial situation is not attainable. I'm not
Mhm.
saying, hey, I'm going to row 5,000 meters by tomorrow,
Mhm.
knowing I haven't never done that. And then also utilizing time as an aspect of the saying 6 months, I want to do this. And how you said every week you were going to save a certain amount of money.
Mhm.
And then kind of just that reverse engineering aspect of it. And so listeners, like that's what you have to do. When you find a goal, yeah, you have your vision of like the end point, but you have to reverse engineer to say, how can I get there? And that's to me, that's the best way I set my goals. I do that same thing with money. If I save $1 a day for the whole year, I got 365. Well, this year, $366 type of thing. It's the same type of concept. And you can utilize that to your success.
And even for the listeners too, making sure you're writing down and logging your goals. Stop keeping it all in your head. It doesn't work. You're not going to remember it. Like you need to physically be able to look at the progress you've made. It's like low-key like an endorphin that sends to your brain when you make progress on something or when you're getting closer to your goal, where you're making
Yeah.
those steps. Like log it, write it down, and be consistent with what I talked about earlier. You have to be consistent with making sure you're logging everything so that you even see your own progress. Because sometimes you get down on yourself, but then you look back and be like, no, like I'm actually making really good progress on my goal. I might even be ahead on it. And it's just that little reminder you need for whatever goal you're setting. Like you have to be writing it down, logging it in an app, put it in your notes, like keep progress of the goals that you're trying to create.
Yeah. That same thing with fitness. If you're trying to get muscle or lose weight or whatever the case may be, they always say take progress pictures. Cause like everyone has this whole body dysmorphia type of thing now where you like, hey, I'm not to where I want to be, but where were you prior?
Mm-hmm.
And so taking those pictures, writing things down, you're seeing the progression and that's what helps you stay consistent. That's what helps you stay motivated because hey, I did do this. I did accomplish that. And so then you can keep moving forward.
And this isn't sponsored, but Atomic Habits is a great book. if you haven't read it. If you really struggle with, goal setting or completing your goals and you're like, man, I can never get anything done, like read Atomic Habits. That's a really good book that I think has changed me and Bless's life. You see it all the time. People probably talk about it, but now like go to Target, Barnes and Nobles, pick it up, read it. It's a really good book that will change your life completely. And I'm really big on self-help books. So that's a recommendation I recommend to the viewers that are listening.
And then something that I don't think a lot of people do is publicly tell your goals.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, you guys are listening to this, you guys are watching this, you guys have social media. I promise you, if you say your goal on social media, there's going to be at least 10% minimum that are going to be watching to see if you achieve that goal. And so now that's another way of keeping yourself accountable. It's like if I tell you, hey, I want to do something by the end of this year, you as my boy, you're going to probably be like, yo, you keeping up with that? How are you doing? And then you don't want to have that awkward conversation of saying, oh man, I've been slacking, I haven't done it. And so it's that accountability, whether it's your friends, your families, social media, that are going to keep you in check to help you stay motivated.
And if you struggle with goals or completing goals, find yourself an accountability group, a group of individuals that will hold you accountable and you will hold them accountable to making sure you complete your goals. It might be cliche, but it works. You don't want to be the only one in the group that doesn't complete their goals, but everybody else is, and they're making progress, and you report back every week what you've done to complete your goals, and then you're just sitting there like it gets kind of embarrassing. And so find yourself an accountability group of people or friends that want you to complete your goals. Not just some random people, but like accountability group will change your life, and that will really hold you accountable. And find people that they aren't afraid to tell you like, yo, like you're slacking off. Like, what are you doing? You said you're going to do this goal. Why haven't you completed it yet? You need those type of people in your life. And if you don't have those type of people in your life, you can hit on me and Bless. Like, we'll hold you accountable as well.
We will, absolutely. Because like even being in the military, we have like an accountability meeting every week. And so we have a whole PowerPoint and we say, this is where we're at. This is where we want to be by the end of the week. And so we're briefing, higher ranking individuals saying this is where we want to be. And so that higher ranking, they're jotting down and saying, okay, you're going to be here next week. So then when next week comes, you better have gotten that stuff done. And it's the same way. Accountability. Like you can do it yourself, but it's easier when you get the help. It's easier when you have a life jacket. And that's where the concept comes, where helping you get through those waves of life, helping you set those goals, helping you stay motivated and consistent with completing those goals on a day-to-day basis. And 1 or 2 days, yeah, you may skip. You're not perfect. But at the end of the day, if you're staying consistent, consistency will go a long way.
And also, when you have a goal and you're planning something, you will have a setback. So be prepared. It's coming. You can't avoid it. It's going to happen. And it's up to you to decide, am I going to give up or am I going to keep going? You just can't let a setback like deteriorate you from your goals and where you're trying to go, because things do pop up. Life does happen. And this is where you can rely on accountability group to be like, okay, like, listen, I know you're having a setback and this happened, but let's keep going. Like if you're in the gym and you've been consistent for weeks, you have an injury, keeps you out for the week. All right, let's heal that injury up. Let's get back in the gym next week and let's keep going. And so making sure that not just the gym, but really anything in life, like you're just going to have setbacks and it's up to you to decide, am I going to keep going? Is this a goal I really want? Or am I going to just let this one thing that happened to me like completely set me back from doing something that I want to do?
Yeah. And that goes back to like our last episodes when we talk about failure. Like a winner is a person who failed, but just never gave up. And simple as that. Continue going through those setbacks and continue just keep moving forward. Like you have a really good group of individuals that can help you. You'll be fine. Just make sure you're setting goals, making sure that they're attainable, measurable, and that you're not trying to accomplish the big picture in just one day. Day by day, you'll be good to go.
And I would say my biggest takeaway for this episode is that if you're somebody who hasn't set any goals yet for this year, set a goal for yourself if you haven't yet, or think about, let's just take whether you've set a goal or not. If you listen to this episode from this point on, find one goal that you're trying to complete for 2024 and stick to it. Write it down write a contingency plan, and make sure that by the time December 31st is coming around, you've completed that goal. Just one. I don't know where you're at in your life and how many goals you have, but just stick to one goal that you know you really want to accomplish, and make sure that you take the time and effort and whatever you have to do to make sure you complete that goal by the end of the year. Any takeaways for you, Bless?
Yeah. And I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Actually, you viewers, when you're watching this, comment on our post what goal that you have for the year. And this way, now you've publicly said, I'm going to do this. And we're going to be the ones to keep you accountable. We'll reach out to you and say, hey, where are you at? Hey, do you need help? Anything along those lines. So that way you can actually achieve that goals. And that goes to my takeaway. Make it out, put it out there, make it public, let people know about it, let your friends and family know about it, because they're the ones that are going to want you to succeed, but they're also the ones that hopefully are being real with you. It's, hey, you're slacking. Hey, you're not accomplishing those goals. So, like I said, put it on our comments, anything that you, or DM us, any type of goals that you're trying to accomplish. We can maybe help you with a plan to accomplish those goals. But at the same time, when you're putting it out there in the universe, you're already setting yourself up for success. Don't just keep it in your head. Write it down, like he said.
And if you comment, be prepared, because I'm gonna be on you. You're gonna complete the goals. So just be prepared. Don't comment, oh my God, like nah, like hey, what's your goal? What's going on? Like let's make sure we hold you accountable. So anything else? Or are you good?
Now we can wrap it up.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next episode. We appreciate you guys. Please make sure, like, subscribe, comment. It really goes a long way. We really appreciate you guys. And until next time, peace.